So these are some new additions then?
These are new additions, yeah. 3 little pigs.
So what are some tips on keeping pigs?
Feed them right. And that's breed dependent. Otherwise you'll end up with very fatty pigs. And don't get coons unless you want a lot of fat. If you want good pork, get rare breed. So these are, we normally do Berkshire. These are a cross between Berkshire and something else. I can't remember off the top of my head. But between Berkshire and another rare breed. Berkshires grow fast, so you feed them a lot when they're little, first 18 weeks or so, and then as they get older you start restricting their feeding. But yeah, they escape and dig everything up, so put them somewhere where that doesn't matter. We just use electric fencing here. Lots of people put quite serious fencing in, solid boards dug in a little bit, barbed wire, whatever. They're so thick-skinned, they'll go through barbed wire. They'll probably cut themselves, but they'll go through it anyway. So the advantage of electric fencing is it's very easy to move them onto a new area if the ground starts suffering. But all this grass, within a month this will just be mud. They'll have cleared this. So they're very good if you want areas cleared. And again, electric fencing makes that easy. They don't need much in the way of shelter. That arc is it's probably overkill for what they need, but at least they're comfortable in there. We'll probably set up a bit of shade as we get into summer. But yeah, I guess the thing to be aware of with pigs is they are predators. They're not scared of dogs. And yeah, obviously they're quite little at the moment, but a bigger pig, if it took a disliking to you, could easily bite out a chunk of your flesh or push you over. So yeah, the best thing to do is when they're little, spend some time with them, give them a good scratch, they like that. Have them get used to you, used to being around you, otherwise you'll end up with big pigs that you're scared of, and possibly justifiably scared of. So yeah, be careful with pigs.
And do you feed, I mean, what's the feed you've got in the bucket there?
So this is organic pellets. Last summer we had Berkshires, and we went with someone's recommendation to just feed them finisher right from the start. So that's what this is. We did that with them last year and it was very successful. We had lovely pork at the end of it.
And what is finisher?
It's different. So I can't remember what the others are called. So there's different types of pig food for different stages of growth. So they would normally start with weaners, pellets, and then finisher is what you would normally feed a pig right at the last few weeks, maybe the last 4 weeks before it goes to slaughter. But Berkshires, because they grow so much at a young age, unlike some of the other breeds, it makes sense to feed them. So it's just different ratios. Where we've got a source of apple cake, which is what's left once apples are pressed to make apple juice or cider. So they'll get a load of that.
Will you feed them scraps as well? Or will that go to the chickens? Or?
No, so yeah, if you're going to keep pigs, read up on all the regulations. Pigs are not allowed anything that's been through a kitchen. Same with chickens. It seems crazy, but you can't feed them swill anymore, or anything that's even been in a kitchen. So if you can get veg from a greengrocer, often they're quite happy to, if you leave them with a bin, to fill up the bin with stuff that they can't sell. That's fine, but you can't get stuff from restaurants or anywhere like that, or your own kitchen. I think, oh, I might be wrong, but I think they traced back, what was it? I can't remember what it was, but a big sort of disease spread got traced back to pigs that had been fed meat that had, possibly by accident, that had come through a kitchen, so that's all banned. So you've got to be very careful, because DEFRA will come and inspect at some point.
Do you expect that every year, or is that just they just come as and when?
They do it randomly. So actually we haven't been inspected yet, but it will happen at some point.
And how long, what's the lifespan what will be the lifespan of these pigs? How old are they now?
So they're 8 weeks now,
yeah.
And they will go to slaughter around 6 months, which is a very short life, so we're going to do what we can to make sure they have a happy life. Pigs will live for years. They'll live to about 30, I think, if you allow them to, and they will get huge. So yeah, if you want to breed from pigs, they will get huge, but the cost of that is a bit prohibitive. So as they get big, they eat more and more and more.
So have you worked out the cost of raising a single pig in terms of the cost of the individual pig and the cost of feed over the course of how long you have them for?
Yeah, we need to improve the way that we do it, but the more food we can source for free, scraps from the greengrocer or the apple cake or that kind of stuff, then the less feed we need to buy in. But yeah, it's costing us around £170, £180 per pig. And that means that we can't sell them to the local pub, for example, or local restaurants. They're buying pigs in for £120. So we'd be making a loss if we did that.
Would that be organically raised pigs? I mean, I realise that there's stipulations in terms of whether you'd get, I realise it's very difficult to classify pigs or pork as organic.
Well, our land isn't, we're not certified organic, so we can't say this is organic for anything.
But for an organic pig, would that be, because I mean, that's probably only true in terms of...
it's industrialisation.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, you're as pretty as organic as you could get. I realise the soil association, you haven't got certification.
Yeah.
But in terms of the history of the land and how you've been managing it...
Well, we don't know the history before we bought it.
Okay.
So we don't know what was on then.
Okay.
We might get a certification, but it's actually, it takes a few years, and you have to track everything that comes on and goes off your land, and you also have to pay quite a bit. So I'm not sure
so it's potentially prohibitive then, isn't it?
Yeah.
For small scale.
For small scale it is, yeah. To get the costs down, we'd have to grow food on site. And eventually we'd like to do that, but we haven't done the research yet to
you
find
don't
out
know what you'd grow yet?
What we'd grow. Obviously they love apples, and we've got an orchard planted, so in years to come there'll be plenty of spare apples and some of those will come their way. But yeah, a good way to do it might be to plant up a large area and then put the electric fencing over a small part of it and let them dig up all the root veg or whatever they want from that, and gradually, you know, either daily or weekly, increase the area that they've got onto fresh feed. But I mean, this stuff, these pellets, to replace these pellets with fresh veg, it's 7 kilos of fresh veg for every kilo of pellets that you take away. So this is really high in protein and God knows, you know, all the stuff that you need. They obviously like it. So I think probably a way to do it is to maybe half the amount of pellets that we give them and replace the rest with fresh stuff. But yeah, that's a big part of it. Don't really need much else other than, you know, shelter, shade if it's really sunny, fresh water,
and love.
And love, yeah. Once they're a bit bigger and a little bit less jittery, they'll, you know, on a hot day, they'll love a sprinkler, and they'll run through that. And we're going to set up, yeah, some kind of food container hanging off a pole, so they have to knock it to get food out. Things for them to play with, because pigs are very intelligent creatures. More intelligent than dogs, probably. Depends on the breed of dog, but yeah, to have them just sat here, or, you know, in the industrial case, sat in a very small confined space that's just big enough for them to turn around. It's not much of a life for an intelligent creature.
It's cruel, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. And these guys, well, these guys are. When did they came here last weekend, so they're not very used to people. And so actually today is the first day they've actually let me touch them. So it's good to do this every time we feed them, get them used to us. They like a good scratch, or at least the ones we had last year absolutely loved a good scratch. So as they get more used to us, there'll be more of that. Oh, you're getting there though, aren't you?
Brilliant.
There's already a bit of a size difference. I can tell you're the greedy one. You're outgrowing your sisters.